Hello guys and welcome back to TNT Madness. Today we are going to be looking at one of the most important things you can have in your faction base, and that is spawner protection. So whenever you're trying to protect your valuables, even if it is in your base, so let's say your protection for armor, which you'd use some sort of unraidable vault for in terms of creeper eggs, and let's say your creeper spawners, your enderman spawners, your iron golem spawners, really any expensive thing in your base you want to protect as much as possible. Even though it is in probably your 100 wall base, even though it is super secure, and the very odd chance that people somehow get in, if you do have this sort of protection, then they cannot get to your valuable stuff, even if they have stuff like creeper eggs. So this is unraidable spawner protection in terms of creeper eggs, and is really strong. I highly recommend that you use it for any of your valuables. Will take a little bit of time to make, but it doesn't sacrifice efficiency. It doesn't sacrifice really anything. It just takes a little bit more time and takes up a little bit more space and resources, but believe me, it is worth it. So anyway, let's have a look at this. So, like water walls, if you have water over top of a wall, then TNT cannot explode it. So, the same rule applies to really any block because TNT cannot explode in water, and creepers are essentially just TNT in mob form, as most people do know. So what we can do here is essentially just stick water over top of the spawners, and it'll do the exact same thing. The only thing that it may do to affect efficiency is some mobs, they may float down the water before they actually go into the fence gates or through the sponges or whatever it is you have. I prefer using fence gates as it can be cheaper than sponges, and you can have them a lot lower to the ground. So if you have space constraints, then you can place these fence gates lower down to here so they don't actually get rid of the water. Unlike sponges, you have to place them in very finicky and special spots. But that's fine if you have a big base and you have tons of money and all sorts, but I just prefer using fence gates in general because I'm normally building in small spaces. So that's why I also have this compact farm design that I made. It's probably not the most compact, but I just like it because it's all in one for pretty much any mobs. So anyway, like fence gates or sponges, mobs fall through them very easily. So if we place a creeper here, or let's say here, as you can see, it is going to float down like I said, but after it gets through these fence gates, if it actually wants to move, yep, there we go, he'll go down here into your grinder and then go ahead and die. And anything can really work in this instance. So for example, if we go ahead and place down an iron golem, which really doesn't have anything to do with the spawners, but they still will go down and go through, and poor guy doesn't want to be created. So again, this is just for your most valuable stuff. You do not have to do this for everything. I just recommend that you do it for your valuable stuff. Generally, if you're playing on a server like mine or something, then you want to have your most valuable stuff like, I don't know, pigmen, creeper, enderman, iron golem. I'd recommend doing all of those. Really, anything that's like $500,000 or above, stuff like zombie and skeleton, you don't really have to worry about, but definitely with valuable stuff, you really want to pay attention to spawner protection. So that's pretty much all I have for this video. All you have to do, I'm going to do a tutorial now, but it's quite simple how you build this. But anyway, now let's get on with the tutorial. Okay guys, so now on to the tutorial. What you're going to need is you're going to need your spawner box with how many spawners you're going to have into it. No doubt you'll have built some sort of spawners before, and probably at a later date I will be probably doing a tutorial on it. But all you're going to need for this is we're going to be doing it based on one spawner column, which is essentially where you put your spawners. So you put your spawners in one line, and then you go ahead and just fill them up as you get money to do so, and then you just put the water in here to start with. So we're going to be doing this just on one column. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some scaffolding blocks, which are going to be using glass. You're going to need some fence gates or sponges, as well as some water, and of course your mob spawners. So after you've got your mob spawners placed down wherever you're going to have them, you then want to go ahead and go up by 2 blocks. And then this is going to be this bit is going to be your roof. So then you want to go ahead and make sure that you've got 3 blocks around it where you're going to be placing your water, and then you want to go down and build a ring around it. And this is so the water doesn't go everywhere, as you may be having multiple spawners in one room, so you don't need to use all the space in the world. The next thing that you're going to do is you want to go down to where you're placing your fence gates. So we're going to be placing them on this level. So you just want to lay out some scaffolding where you are going to place them. So for us, we're going to make this 3 wide, and then we are going to be going out by 1, one extra block and then elevating that by one extra block, because as far as I can tell, you cannot shift click fence gates, you have to place them on top of blocks. So think of these as scaffolding blocks. So now that we've done that, you then want to go ahead and destroy these individual pieces. You do not need a fence gate in the very middle, but you want to go ahead and place down fence gates and all of these spots. And then after that, you then want to go ahead and either open them or destroy the bottom ones. So now we're going to be destroying the scaffolding, so that way you can then of course place the water above it shortly. So after you've done that, you just want to go ahead and you just want to right click all of the fence gates so they're all open. If they're closed, the mobs will just land on them and you will not get your grinder, well, really anything from it. So very simple thing to do. So now that we have done this, we can go up to the very top and then place water in the very middle and the four corners of this little piece here. Then all the water should flow down into this area here, so that way if someone does get a creeper egg, for example, if we grab one quickly, and a flint and steel, even though we probably won't be able to place it, if they do place a creeper here, which I'm on peaceful, if they do place a creeper egg and they do blow it up, it will not blow up anything, as you can see, like so. So that's pretty much how you make this, and now all your valuables should be protected and nothing is going to get through them. Of course you will build your grinder at the bottom and you can expand this to all of them. If you're placing them 3 across, then of course you will not need these 3 on the side, as you can just go ahead and extend it out. But that is pretty much all for this video. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, then you can subscribe. But anyway, goodbye from TNT Madness.